a comprehensive look at trends, fund profiles, and more in Exploring ETFs.
We're going to take a look at old technology ETFs now with our ETF research director, Nina Mishra, who is going to explain why they've become so popular, right? So old technology stocks have become popular because of their attractive dividends.
Yeah, that is one of the reasons, one of the main reasons for their recent popularity. And you know, in the past, technology stocks were mainly known for their growth potential.
Right.
If you look 10 or 15 years back, most technology companies did not pay dividends. But over the past few years, many have instituted and grown their dividends. In fact, technology sector's contribution to S&P 500's dividends is about 15% as of now versus just about 5% 10 years back.
So when we say, just to put it in context
Yes.
for the viewers, when we say old technology companies, we're talking about old technology companies,
Yes.
not necessarily Apple and the newer ones.
We are talking about Apple, but we are not talking about maybe Facebook and Google and GoPro and those kind of much newer technology companies.
And that's typically because to be included in an ETF like this, these companies had to show a dividend track record?
No, not the two ETFs that we are talking about today. They do not look at the past track record.
Okay.
Some other dividend growth ETFs, which we have talked about in the past over here, and those are excellent dividend ETFs, but they look at dividend growth record for the past 10, 15, or 25 years.
Okay.
And many of those ETFs do not include these technology companies because although they existed, but Microsoft did not pay a dividend 25 years back.
Right.
Apple did not pay a dividend 10 years back.
Yes.
So to be included in dividend ETFs, you have to have a screen which is more forward looking. Over the past 8 years, technology has been the biggest contributor to dividend growth in the US, and the sector is expected to lead dividend growth over the longer term as well.
Okay.
And as you mentioned, because of the dividend yields, investors have been pouring money into these stocks, and earnings have also been better than expected for many of these companies. And in fact, on this slide, I have the comparative performance of these old big tech companies.
And they've been outperforming the Standard & Poor's 500.
Yes, they didn't do too well earlier this year, but if you look at a chart, this is a chart over the past 3 months, they have done really well because earnings have been better than expected, and they pay dividends which are more than S&P 500 dividend yields. So on this chart, I have Cisco, Microsoft, Apple, and Intel, and you can see how nicely they have outperformed the S&P 500 index.
And as we all know, those dividends pile up over time.
Yes, exactly. They pile up and they increase your return, long-term return.
So the first example of one of these types of ETFs is the First Trust NASDAQ Technology Dividend ETF.
Yeah, the ticker is easy to remember, TDIV. TDIV. So it holds dividend-paying technology companies and telecom companies as well, with an 80% exposure to technology companies and 20% exposure to telecom companies. Within those two buckets, holdings are weighted by total dividends paid over the past 12 months. Expense ratio is 50 basis points, yields very nice 2.7%, and companies like Intel, Microsoft, Cisco, Apple are among its top holdings.
And WisdomTree has one of these types of ETFs as well.
Yes. So as I mentioned that usually dividend growth ETFs look at the past record. This particular ETF, Quality Dividend Growth ETF with the ticker DGRO, this employs a forward-looking screen and looks at the potential to raise dividend going forward.
Okay.
So it holds dividend-paying large-cap companies with growth characteristics, which have the potential to grow their earnings and as well as their dividends. So because technology companies have been paying and growing their dividends and have the potential to grow their dividends. So the exposure to technology sector is about 20% in this ETF. It's slightly cheaper with an expense ratio of 28 basis points, and the yield is also slightly lower at 2.2%. And again, those big tech companies with juicy dividend yields like Microsoft, IBM, Cisco, Apple, Intel, they are among the top 10 holdings in this ETF.
Okay, do you own either one?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you for that. And don't forget, you can check out more information on ETFs, commentary, and also stories on individual types of ETFs in the ETF section of Zacks.com. So if you're not there already watching this video, all you have to do is get on over to the home page and navigate to the ETF section using the Funds tab in the top toolbar. With Nina, I'm Terry Ruffalo.